Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I realize we're in the NOSH, which is a general space, so feel free to continue with your meeting or your lunch, but I do want to introduce the event that we're having over here. My name is Dr. Mindy Dilly, she, her, hers, and I'm the Director of Student Involvement. I also serve as the staff advisor for the student government. So what we're having here is the Student Government Association Presidential Debate. So we'll hear from the two candidates that are running for SGA President this year. This is your chance to hear from them. SGA represents all of the students at UMSL, and they work with UMSL administration, faculty, and staff to really educate for students' needs. They are part of some of the most important decisions on campus. Does this help us come closer? Important decisions on campus, so being informed and voting is especially important. So after today's debate, we hope that you'll have a better understanding of these candidates, about who they are and what they stand for. So Blaine McVeigh is going to come on up here and share some instructions and housekeeping items.
Hello, everyone. My name is Blaine McVeigh, and I'm the coordinator of new student experience in the Office of Student Involvement. And I have the pleasure today of moderating the presidential debate of SGA. During my undergraduate career myself, I was involved in SGA as a one-year senator. And then I moved into the comptroller role and served as a comptroller for 2 years in my SGA. And in my own personal life outside of work, I stay engaged in civic engagement opportunities. So I'm just really excited to see our discourse today and how we can better the lives of UMSL students. Before we get started, I'll explain how the SGA voting will work next week and go over how today's debate will be formatted. All voting will take place within Triton Connect. You can log into your Triton Connect account and there will be a link that shows up to vote for the Student Government Association. It's right on the homepage. Voting will be open Monday, April 22nd at 5 a.m. and it will close at 11:55 p.m. on Friday, April the 26th. The two candidates for SGA President are Carson Howe and Alexander Oriwal. They will each have a chance. They'll each have a chance to introduce themselves in a few minutes. Each candidate will be asked a unique question and be given 3 minutes to answer that question. Then the other candidate will have a chance to provide a brief 2-minute response. Questions for today's debate were gathered from the current members of SGA and the general student body. Candidates' responses to all questions must stay focused on what they hope to achieve in the position and strategies they hope will improve the campus. No comments about your opponent, their character, or their experiences should be made. Focus on how you hope to make the campus better. We'll have the candidates join us up at the stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So candidates come on, join us up at the stage. Now let us have our candidates introduce themselves. Carson, you may begin.
This is more comfortable for me. Good afternoon, my fellow Tritons. My name is Carson Howe, and I am running to be your next SGA president for the 24-25 academic school year. A little bit about me. I am a transfer student, so this is my second semester here at UMSL, but before that, I went to St. Charles Community College, where I also served as president. And just as a little side note, our mascot is the Cougars, so you can say for my professional development, I am president of the Cougars. Additionally, with that, I served in many different roles along with civic engagement at the state and local levels. I have represented Missouri students in 6 different states, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here. Along with my other acclimates, I am a current SGA senator as well as the SGA parliamentarian. What that means basically is I am the rules guy. For everything around rules, I'm your man. And I'm very excited to be here today, and I'm excited to get to learn with all of you.
Thank you, Carson. Now you may introduce yourself, Alex.
Yes, hello, everybody. My name is Alexander Orwell. I am the current SGA president, and I am rerunning as SGA president. I'm a junior right now, so I'll be a senior next year. I've been at UMSL all 3 years, next year 4 years, and I hope to continue as SGA president because I think I've done some good stuff with our SGA cabinet, and I'd like to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And now we will begin the debate. Carson, you may begin. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question. And our first question for today is, what inspired you to pursue the role of president?
Just gonna hold this the whole time, never mind. All right, so for me, I was first really inspired to serve as SGA president at my community college because we're a 2-year institution. We are, like UMSL, a majority transfer college, so most folks transfer out. In fact, I see my predecessor over there, shout out to Ryan. And what I saw is that there wasn't a whole lot of engagement, and there also wasn't a whole lot of student voices being involved. I wanted to change that. And so in my 1 term, I switched around an SGA that only consisted of myself and 2 other people to an SGA full of 30 people. I also rebuilt our campus by making us more ADA compliant and making us more accessible to all students, no matter their disabilities or abilities. I also worked with state legislators to make sure that community colleges, vocational schools got more funding. So while they cut higher ed funding in general, I made sure that they increased 2-year and vocational school funding by more than 6% in total. I also defended diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at 2-year community colleges, and I continue to do that to this day in my role with the Associated Students of the University of Missouri. I am called in the Capitol the UMSL guy because I am the only UMSL student there for most of the year, and I am their only voice that represents this campus. They know very little about UMSL, and my vision for this and my reason for running is to bring UMSL back onto the state's viewpoint. Because UMSL is home to over 16,000 students, incredible students with incredible opportunities that the state and many of our own students don't recognize. And I am here to change that. So I'm looking forward to this.
Alex, you now have 2 minutes to respond. What inspired you to pursue the role of president?
Yeah, I've always been passionate about making a positive impact, especially here on campus. This is my 2nd year in SGA. Next year would be my 3rd. I served 1 year as a senator, this year as president, and hopefully next year as president again. My goal and my passion would be to continue representing the UMSL student body to upper administration. That is my big goal. That is my focus. I would like to make sure that problems here on campus are resolved and make sure that they are heard by upper administration.
Thank you for your response, Alex. You will answer this question and Carson will. Oh, Alex, you will answer this question. Carson will respond. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question, Alex. Sorry about that. Our second question is, what specific vision do you have for our student body if elected?
I would like to continue working on the things that my slate has done this year and has worked on so far. I would like to continue seeing dining services to be enhanced. For those that are new here or don't know, the Nosh used to be closed on Fridays. My slate was a big reason why the Nosh is now open on Fridays, at least on 2. I would like to see that continue and being open until 5. Some other things we have worked on with upper administration to not close Proho this year. It might still get closed in the future, but we hope before it closes, the Nosh dining hours will also be open on the weekend. That is something I will, and my slate will continue working on, and we hope that before Proho closes, that's the provincial house on campus, that continues to be so. Something me and my slate have also been working on are extracurricular involvement. I am a big sports guy, and I believe that the establishment of sport clubs here on campus would be great for the campus to create a vibrant and inclusive campus, especially through sports. As I believe that is the best way to use it.
Carson, you now have 2 minutes to respond to that same question. What specific vision do you have for our student body if elected?
Thank you very much. And similar to President Alex over there, I also agree that we do need to enhance our dining services. But another thing that we need to focus on as well is our tuition rates. UMSL has always prided itself of being one of the lowest tuition rates in the state for four-year colleges. That has been changing since differential tuition has been implemented system-wide. What I would like to do, what I would like to see is bring UMSL's voice back into that conversation. We have been lost from it for years, simply put. And it is time to bring us back to that. I also want to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion and rebuilding our student government. While it is great, what my opponent has done in terms of opening up to 2 p.m., that was done not this year, but last year when he was still in the Senate, which is still huge efforts there, but it is not something that he has done as president. And I know, Mindy, you're looking at me a little concerned there. I will focus on what I want to do, I promise.
Thank you.
But what I'd like to see is student government actually be able to work for our students again. Our Senate has never held quorum, which if you don't know what quorum is, it is the bare minimum to get any business passed. We have never been able to achieve that. And I can tell you that as the rules guy, we can't do anything. And it is my goal to rebuild the Senate, to rebuild our student government, to make sure that we're not fighting just for ourselves, but for you.
Thank you for your response, Carson. You will answer this question and Alex will respond. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question. And our third question for today's debate is collaboration is key in any leadership position. How do you plan to work with other members of the student government to achieve your goals and represent the student body effectively?
Thank you very much for that question. So I work in the state capitol twice a week, and I work with folks from all different political sides of all different viewpoints on various different positions. My goal in collaboration is to make compromises happen. We can only move forward whenever we do make compromise. And from what I've found when working with a Republican who we may disagree on diversity, equity, and inclusion is that we will agree on the environment. And so we will work together on the environment. Collaboration here in our Senate is very important to me as well, as I am the Senate's parliamentarian as well. My goal is to make sure that our senators are being supported, our senators' passion projects are being pushed forward, but there is also accountability in our Senate. As I said before, we do not have quorum in our Senate ever. Over half of our Senate never shows up. The only time we've ever had our quorum is our first meeting, and we didn't really do any of the business of the students that day. It was more of just a general getting our bases together. They don't attend their committees, and it's time that we held them accountable because being an SGA senator should be more than simply the title. It should be working for our fellow students and making a difference on our campus. And being able to collaborate with them to make that happen is more of a success, not just for me personally, but for the students of this fantastic college and our student government as a whole.
Alex, you now have 2 minutes to respond to the same question. Collaboration is key in any leadership position. How do you plan to work with other members of the student government to achieve your goals and represent the student body effectively?
As current SGA president, I definitely recognize that how important it is to work closely with the Senate. As the senators that do show up, we work great together, and I think we have done a lot of things, even though we don't reach quorum in our meetings. I've had great meetings with upper campus management, and I think we've seen some great changes, and I think that we can continue doing so next year. I believe that even though our Senate isn't as big as we would like it to be, that we have done and will continue to do great.
Thank you for your response, Alex. You will answer the following question and Carson will then respond. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question, Alex. What do you see as the most critical issues facing our student community, and how do you propose to address them as president?
I think the most critical issue as a student community is always the tuition. tuition costs, the rising tuition, and how to solve that. I've had multiple meetings with upper campus management this year about tuition, and I will have one again this week. The problem is that it's hard for us students to make these choices and to keep tuition down. That being said, my slate and I have worked very hard to keep the tuition to have the tuition not rise as high as it could be. We have tried to keep it as low as possible, and that is our goal going forward too.
Carson, you now have 2 minutes to respond. What do you see as the most critical issues facing our student community, and how do you propose to address them as president?
Thank you so much for the question. And like Alex, I agree that tuition is one of our biggest concerns. And while Alex is meeting with upper management, I'm meeting with state legislators, et cetera, to build packages to help you, Missouri students. In the past 4 weeks, I have gotten 3 different Senate bills passed and into the House that are to make college more affordable. I have also worked with the system officials, including President Choi himself, to make sure that not just UMSL students, but all students within the Missouri system are working to have their tuition lower. Differential tuition is a hard topic. And while the numbers aren't in yet and the data isn't in yet, we have been promised that in the long term, our tuition will decrease. But in the short term, our tuition has increased. My goal is to find more avenues for you so that your short-term tuition is no longer as increased as it is, whether that's state grants or general state funding. My goal next year, when I go back to the Capitol again to give them more headaches, is to fight in the budget to continue to increase higher education. The state has once again decreased their funding for higher education institutions like UMSL. That means a tuition increase is coming. My goal is to work around that by finding scholarships and making them available for all students at not just UMSL, but every institution of higher education in the state of Missouri to make sure that we are all getting what we paid for.
Thank you for your response, Carson. You will answer the next question and Alex will respond. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question. What have you done to further the interests of students on the UMSL campus?
Well, aside from what I said earlier of the 3 Senate bills that have now been passed in the Senate to make your tuition cheaper, I make sure to work with other institutions and other campuses around the area here to collaborate and create I call it the St. Louis Pact, of being able to work together through organizations. I have also worked with many different other organizations at UMSL and in my civic community here to help bridge the gap in terms of food deserts, because St. Louis has a gigantic food desert. I have worked with many different charities, et cetera, to build their budgets and be able to build their reach further so that they can help people in need. I also have worked with PSA and ASUM and other organizations in order to build civic engagement for college students. As someone who goes to the Capitol and meets with legislators almost every single day, they do not believe that we care, and so they don't care about us. My goal is to change that. And building up civic education is one of my top priorities as well. And I have seen that when we do bring college students, when they meet them face to face, there is significant changes. All of my success would not be possible without the support of UMSL students, without the support of other colleges in the area. From private to public, everyone is on the same page. And that's what I'd like to continue to do as president.
Alex, you now have 2 minutes to respond. What have you done to further the interests of students on the UMSL campus?
I think my biggest success has been opening hours in the Nosh on Fridays. That is something I'm the most proud of. And something else I've done, I have worked with upper campus administration and the financial aid office to update the competitive scholarship website. That used to be a real mess. We fixed that. All the links are now accurate, all the dates are accurate, and you can now apply and know if you apply that this scholarship is still available, which wasn't the case last year. So that is 2 of the things I worked on this year, and I hope to continue doing equally and as important stuff next year.
Thank you for your response, Alex. You will answer the next question and Carson will respond. And you will have 3 minutes to answer this question. Transparency and accountability are crucial for maintaining trust within the student body? How will you ensure that the actions and decisions of the student government are transparent and that you are held accountable to your peers?
Yeah, transparency is very important, and everything we do, we report in our monthly SGA assembly meeting, which are open to the public. It is every first Friday of the month, and you can attend these meetings both in person and over Zoom, and we share absolutely everything we do in that meeting with the student body. I think that's very important, so we can be in communication and show people what we have done throughout the year.
Carson, you now have 2 minutes to respond to this question. Transparency and accountability are crucial for maintaining trust within the student body. How will you ensure that the actions and decisions of the student government are transparent and that you are held accountable to your peers?
Thank you so much for that question. When I was president of St. Charles Community College, I did something called the Fireside Chats, where, like FDR before, I would sit down with students and talk to them either through the radio, on the phone, wherever, even on Zoom at times, how awkward that would be. And I would talk to them about our decision making. And what I found at UMSL is that while we do have our student assembly, and that is fantastic, we need more robust systems of transparency. Our current constitution, for those of you who want a history lesson, because I will give it to you no matter what, our constitution was updated in 2019. It removed the impeachment clause for not just us as executives, but also senators and anyone within the student government. That means that your vote, if, let's say, I am a terrible senator, some people may say that, and there is no accountability for me as a senator, and I can continue to serve up until election, meaning that I can continue to meddle and make SGA a worse place. My goal is to make our system and our student government more robust, more transparent, with weekly meetings, weekly understanding of what we are doing, more town halls like this, to make sure that our decision-making is in line with what the students want, and most importantly, what the students need.
Thank you for your response, Carson. You will answer the next question and Alex will respond to it. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question. Building a positive relationship with the administration is often essential for affecting change on campus. How do you plan to advocate for student interests while fostering a productive relationship with school administration?
Thank you for that question. Like I said earlier, I go to the Capitol twice a week, and to put it mildly, I disagree with a lot of them. I disagree a lot with their decisions, but in that time, I have learned a lot about how to forge new relationships. Oftentimes, if I can't find a policy that I want to work with someone, I'll switch to a different one. Like I said earlier, DEI might be off the table for one Republican senator, but education and vocational work might be another thing for them. Or maybe a Democrat doesn't agree that we need more tax credits for students. Then I want to work with them on DEI, etc. Building those kinds of relationships last a lifetime. And as a former president myself, I have cultivated plenty of positive relationships with not just folks from my home college, but from folks all the way across the state. In fact, I still go golf with community college presidents from across the state, from in Kansas too.
Oh.
Ugh, I know, they're not very good, but neither am I. But what I've found is being able to respect them and respect their time, while also being a real partner to work with them. Meaning that we are showing off that we are meeting with students, that we are being their voice. If we have that mutual respect back and forth with each other, we are not just going to build a positive relationship together. We are going to make real and lasting change on this campus. And that is what I will do as president.
Alex, you now have 2 minutes to respond to that same question, which is, building a positive relationship with the administration is often essential for affecting change on campus. How do you plan to advocate for student interests while fostering a productive relationship with school administration?
Yeah, as mentioned before, I've had many meetings with campus administration over a bunch of different topics. I think they have gone good so far. I think I've built strong and good relationships with those people. And I think going forward, I can continue doing so. I have helped opening up the NOSH, again, that was in discussion with them, updating the scholarship website. I've also talked to the upper campus administration. So I think my relationship is very good with them. If you vote me, that will continue to be so.
Thank you for your response, Alex. You will answer the next question and then Carson will respond. You will have 3 minutes to answer this question. Diversity, equity, inclusion are fundamental values. What specific steps do you intend to take to promote diversity and ensure that all students feel valued and represented within the student government?
Yeah, promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion within the student government is very crucial for success. We have a very unique student body and a lot of different groups of students on campus. I believe our students in student government are very diverse, but I think the biggest success to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion is to reach out to different student bodies and invite them to come and share their opinion on topics. I believe we have done a little so far this year, and I hope to do better next year.
Carson, you now have 2 minutes to respond to the same question. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are fundamental values. What specific steps do you intend to take to promote diversity and ensure that all students feel valued and represented within the student government?
Thank you so much for that question. Like I said before, in fact, ironically enough, 2 days ago, I just had a mild passive-aggressive screaming chat with the governor of the state of Missouri about DEI. So I am very, very much supportive of DEI programs. I'm supportive of what UMSL has done, and I believe that we need to continue and push forward with DEI. What I would like to do for increasing diversity, equity, and inclusion is not just inviting student organizations to come to us, but going to them. As president of my previous community college, I was a co-founding member of some of our most active diversity, equity, and inclusion organizations. And I found the most successful way to get them involved is to show up. We need to show up better as not just a college, but as SGA. We have an incredibly diverse and awesome campus here with so many unique opportunities, so many unique individuals with their own unique stories. And it is high time that we meet them where they are and we represent them by telling their stories.
Thank you for your response, Carson. It is time for the last question of the debate. Carson, you will answer this question first, and then Alex will respond. You each will have 3 minutes to answer this question. Our final question is, why should your fellow students elect you as president of the Student Government Association? And what unique qualities or experiences do you possess that make you the best candidate for the role?
Thank you so much for that. Like I said before, I have come from a wide array of student advocacy roles, from being president to being a registered lobbyist advocating for student needs. I come from a very long line of civil servants, and ever since I was a little kid being elected line leader for the first time, I have always wanted to lead my fellow students forward. I will continue to do that as your SGA president. I will continue to fight for you. I have met with all kinds of different folks, from senators that I don't exactly agree with to UM system individuals, to make college better for all of you. My goal is to make sure that we can all come together, to be UMSL united, and push us forward to be better than we were today and be hopefully better for the rest of our time together. But what I would like to continue to do with that, and what I would like to see from all of you, is you join me for this. Voting doesn't just happen and then it's done. I need to continue to see your support, and I'm going to open up SGA to you to make that easier. You don't have to come to me. If you vote for me for president, I will come to you. And I will make sure that I will tell your stories to whoever is unfortunate enough to be listening to me at that time. And I will not stop until your interests are top of mind and until we are successful.
Alex, you now have 3 minutes to respond. Why should your fellow students elect you as president of the Student Government Association? And what unique qualities or experiences do you possess that make you the best candidate for the role?
Next year will be my 4th year at UMSL. I have built many relationships with students, faculty, and staff here on campus. My focus is on the university itself and not really on the state level. And I think that is good because I can focus my energy solely on the school and the problems of the students here at the school. This is my 2nd year in student government, 1 year as a senator, 1 year as president, and I think this experience will help me continue doing a good job as SGA president. I work well with others. I have done great stuff here on campus, and I think with your support, you will benefit with me as your president.
And with that, that concludes our questions. Thank you to both of our candidates for participating in the 2024 SGA Presidential Debate. And a special thank you to all the students who came here to watch the debate today. We had a wonderful crowd with us today. The debate was recorded and will be posted on the SGA website by the end of the week. Please do your student duty by voting in the SGA election for the student who will represent you for the next year. Voting again is open next week and will be housed in Triton Connect. Thank you, or again, voting will be open Monday, April 22nd at 5 a.m. and will close at 11:55 p.m. on Friday, April 26th. Thank you all for coming and have a wonderful rest of your day.